The times that I still do pick up my book,
Mhm.
and I'm like, man, let me see what I was talking about,
You're like, let me remind myself.
Even for me, it's a hard book to put down. It really is, because I read a paragraph, and then I read the next paragraph, and then it comes to the end, and I was like, let me see what this breakdown's about. That's how I read the breakdown, and I leave it almost open-ended where it makes you want to turn the page to the next chapter and say, man, okay, well, what happens next? Even for me as an author, and I know what the whole story is about,
right?
But I'm still so excited to know that it's happening to my readers, and that's a contagious feeling, I guess, and I like that.
Okay. Now, how are you going? Now, I know this is going to be your volume 1 for the collection of the poetry.
Right.
When people read it, because I've seen poetry books, and I mean, I actually was reading one this past weekend. And I can't remember where I actually picked it up from, but it's an interesting. This poetry, I think I was given at a seminar. It's a little dark. Because I was thinking, was this person going through a bad time when they wrote this? I'm like, it had scriptures next to it, but it was just like, really, this lady had a hard time. She, she was just kind of working through it, And of course, near the end, it was all the victory and the triumph. But a lot of it was kind of like, I don't really want to read about that.
Gotcha.
So how are you going to, I guess, put those things together to kind of follow the flow of the love, life, and God?
I'm an inspirational writer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that first and foremost. I'm an inspirational writer. So my whole job of writing novels, self-help books, poetry books is to inspire the reader. Mm-hmm. All right? So with the 3 aspects of life, love, and God, LLG, I kind of, and this is over a span of 10 years of my writing, so you can imagine different aspects of whenever Justin was 21, whenever he was 25, 27, right before he got married, what was going on in his mind, but I had to line it up somewhat in a timeline so it flowed good, where you're actually kind of getting, I don't want to say a storyline, but you're getting the flow of the life portion, so on the highs and lows you can feel it, on the love side of the heartbreak and pain that happens whenever you fall in love, but also the times when you get swept off your feet. You're sweeping someone else off their feet from a guy's perspective.
Right.
I don't think it's good for us to get swept off our feet. But
you're like, does this really happen? I don't know. I think men probably feel, I don't know about swept. Well, you know what I mean? That there is an affection that you have for that one particular person. Let's hope that is significant.
Right.
Above the others. So I think that's kind of a being swept off your feet kind of thing. I think that this is going to be a great collection, but what about turning it into music or turning it into more of a creative expression? Is that in the future, or what do you think?
I'm already getting pulled in directions. I tell you, I'm already getting pulled in directions. It's interesting because there's different tracks that would sound much better over a good background piano or just acoustic guitar. So I'm really curious to see what the future has in store. The book itself is going to move. I know it's going to move.
Oh, yes.
And the more I have speaking engagements, the more I have, a microphone and a stage, I definitely plan on, of course, presenting the Life, Love, and God Poetry Volume 1. Boom. Just like it's I don't want to call it a show, but I definitely want to present it where I can go through all of them.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look at something secular in the world. Who's the guy that did that whole retarded series? I want to say R. Kelly with the in the closet thing. You know what I mean? Now, somebody could take some foolishness and break it into a series where people are like, well, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What about something that's actually life-changing, something that's actually giving life and motivating people, to kind of walk through love, life, and their relationship with God as opposed to some foolishness. So, G, you're quiet. You got any questions for Justin? Any...
Okay, I'm quiet because I didn't have a mic in my hand. So, actually, my thing is, I walked in on the set, and I didn't know what to expect, and I was just reading some of the excerpts of your book. Very, very impressed. How old are you?
30.
So, okay, I don't know if I put you on the spot or not, but 30. Myself, when I think of somebody that does something that's from their heart, and I look at what I just read, it's from the Word. So I'm all for it already. But when you can take it and captivate an audience, because your book seems like almost like cliffhangers. You know what I'm saying? Like
Gotcha.
you're reading it, and just a little bit that I read, it's like you actually touched on it. I wanted to go further before I even finished what I was reading, because I'm like, I feel like I know what's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen, so let me go. So I could see how it's a draw. I like that, and then on top of that, again, speaking in the Word, everybody needs to hear it. I'm all about that. I'm more spiritual than religious. There is a fine line.
I agree.
And I do live in it, so I'm applauding you for actually putting something like this out. Thank you.
No kicking
Thank
us
you.
off the air.
And so I mean that's just my little spiel on it, because you have the floor. This is your day. I'm a follower already, and I'm applauding what you're doing, because it looks like quality stuff.
Yeah, and then and G No Line is I'm very humbled that you even shared that with me, because that's my whole goal is to put out good quality material. That and even as an independent author, it's still our job. It's our job to put out quality work, to make sure you go through the phase 1, phase 2, draft 1, draft 2. Just go over your work. Continue to go over your work. So once the world gets it, they're moved. Right. As believers, as Christians, as disciples, it's our job to represent God well. And even myself, it's a point that I make to make sure that if I'm going to have folks reading my book, and I'm going to push my work, then I have to make sure that I back it up with good quality. Right. And I just thank you for even touching on the quality aspect that you were able to get from it.
Branding is everything.
Yeah. So you're all about branding. He has his own marketing firm, so of course you're about branding. So we're running out of time, but can you tell aspiring writers or artists? Can you give them some motivation? Because it's hard to do anything, particularly creative, because you still have to eat. You still have to live life. And it's hard sometimes for creative people to, work 9-to-5 jobs or whatever. So what words of encouragement would you give a writer or a potential or future author about, that staying with it, that whatever gave you your push, what would you recommend that they do?
Okay. First thing that came to mind was a piece of maybe like a line or two from one of my poems. This one's entitled Technology, but it goes to one line where I say, stop wasting money on things, especially if you can't afford to accomplish your own dreams.
What?
We waste so much time and money on randomness, and then we are so quick to give reasons, excuses, and everything else that comes with it, and we wonder why 3, 4, 5, 10 years have gone by and you haven't done certain things that you've always wanted to do. So with me, and you can always ask my wife, because my wife is just an attestament to everything that I speak of. I don't watch a lot of TV. Whenever I get home, my mind is focused on my projects and my work for the Lord. So whenever it comes to accomplishing dreams, I just encourage those that if you have a full-time job, part-time job, let that full-time, part-time job be what funds your dreams.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then as you're pushing towards your progress of fulfilling your dream, just a quote from my brother, he says that progress is a slow process, but as long as there's progress, then you're doing all right. So always just continue to make that progress, whether it's an inch at a time, a foot at a time, yards at a time. You're still making progress. So I just push the fact that I want to make sure that if you're an author, if you're an aspiring author, an artist, across the board, progress.
Excellent. That's it. Because we've wasted so much money and time on doing things that don't necessarily have anything to do with our vocation or the call on our lives. You understand? Yes, we have to eat and we have to work, but a lot of that stuff, resources could have been used, as you said. Fund your project. Use those resources instead of just wasting them, because you will come to a time where it's like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. Yeah, you did.
Right.
You could have, You know, even if it was little by little, even if it was an ebook online,
Right.
as opposed to putting a full blown project out or actually having a book signing and paying all of that, you can do something. So that's basically the name of that game. So.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much. We ran out of time. The next time we're going to have you on the show is when your new project comes out, and I can't wait because, I mean, if it was anything like Liquid Sunshine and it's just, you know, taking you to a higher level, just think about, you know, you're married now, when you guys have your baby. Oh my God. That's going to be, look, that's going to be new stuff to write about. That's going to be that's going to be chapter 2. You could do a chapter 2 or a volume 2 just in that alone, you know. So I'm excited for you guys. And just want to thank you for coming by and spending a little bit of time with us and sharing with our audience who you are and what it is that you do. And we wish you all the best in the world. And I say that, you know, 2013 is going to be fantastic. I mean, I just can't wait.
Me either. And Karen, my last words for
Final
you.
words.
My last words for yourself and the listening audience. Continue to enjoy life, love, and God.
Oh, I like that. You heard it. So I'm Karen Francis. G. Where are you going to be?
I'm Gerald Grande. Where am I going to be? I'm going to be in my skin. But you look me up on, you know, the at Gerald Grande and the Facebooks, same thing. Just like every week. This is not my day. This is his.
Okay. Oh, he's been humble. God bless you. So until next time, tune in, same time, same place, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio.